So that is the MacStudio, my Promise, which is placed here, does not show up. Let me load the Promise utility. Pegasus found, so it clearly sees it. No issues here whatsoever, but I cannot mount it, or I cannot use it since the 13.2 update. So just have a look here. So these are all the drives. That are two NVMEs, that's a OWC, that's a QNAP, another OWC, and the Promise is not there, not accessible. So that's 13.2, Ventura 13.2 made the mistake updating. And over here I have a MacBook, an M1, which plug the Promise now straight into the Mac here, the MacBook Pro, the M1. And here's a Pegasus, which is running on 13.1. So no external USB drive works. Plugged in. I had the YubiKey plugged in before, worked perfectly. USB drive does not show up. So I have a SD card slot here on my CalDigit, worked fine with 13.1. I put the SD card in, also does not show up. I've got a second CalDigit dock, also used to work. Put the SD card in, also does not show up, thanks to OS 13.2 Apple, which is plugged into the Thunderbolt dock, all used, USB stick plugged in, also does not show up. Here you can see version 12.63, Pegasus, the OWCs, the QNAP, everything is there. And also I want to demonstrate that the SD card reader works. So here it is, no issue. And that's a CalDigit SD card reader. I have here now a USB thumb drive, which I plug in to my third party, that also shows up. So all that stuff is gonna do now a software update to Ventura 13.2. Let's see what happens after that. So that's now Ventura 13.2. Let's see what is happening. All hard drives are there now. Good. So whatever triggered that initial thing. So it worked for a few restarts, and now it is again the same thing. The Promise doesn't show up. None of the external SD card slots works. That doesn't work. This doesn't work. Some of the hard drives show up, but yeah, not the Promise. And again, thumbnail drive doesn't work. SD card slot doesn't work. It's an absolute joke. Be now showing up here. It doesn't. If I put it into the Mac, it does. So it's straight in the Mac, and then it shows up. But same as before, anything external attached via Thunderbolt 4 stops working. So now I'm on Ventura 13.1 and everything works fine. You can see that the Pegasus is here now. I have a thumb drive which I now plug in, and you can see that that will show up. Here's my thumb drive which shows up, no problem. Now I plug in a SD card in my external SD card reader, all shows up. Yeah, that all does not happen on 13.2. The Pegasus is gone. No SD cards or thumb drives will show up. So I'm now another few hours in, have restored the majority of all my applications, and still everything is working fine. My Pegasus is still here. I've now lost 3.5 days with that stuff, where I pretty much do free troubleshooting for Apple. I'm also not alone with that whole thing. As you can see here, people have similar issues with other devices. So there is clearly an issue with a 13.2 update, and it's not specific to one particular brand of device, but seems to happen, yeah, with quite a few different devices. That's also not the only thread here in the Apple forum. There are other threads which deal with similar issues.